आदरणीय सभी हमारे डेस्क पे बैठे हुए लोगों को बहुत बहुत नमस्कार। और आई एम सो हैप्पी कि ये पंडित जी 90 के हुए, उनको तो और भी दीर्घायु उनकी हो और भी संगीत की जो सोच है और दुनिया को दिखा सकें, सुना सकें। मैं आई वॉज वेरी लकी, जब मैं बहुत यहाँ 53 में आया था एज ए डांस टीचर। आई वॉज जस्ट 14 ईयर्स। संगीत भारती फिरोशा रोड पे उनका निवास स्थान था, मेरे करीब थे और मैं मॉर्निंग में उनके घर चला जाता था और उनको बैठ के सुनता था। कभी कभी तबला लेकर कहें जरा ठेका लगाओ साथ साथ, तो मैं तबला भी बजा देता था पंडित जी के साथ। और मैंने वो क्षण सुने हैं इन लोगों को जिस वक्त ये लोग टोटल फॉर्म में ऐसे थे, क्योंकि मैं भी द सेम कॉन्फ्रेंस में हमारा भी कुछ डांस आइटम था। उसके बाद मैं मेकअप मिटा के वो बैठ जाता था, अब सितार सुनूंगा, सरोद सुनूंगा। ये तो उनके साथ बैठ के जब मैं तबला वबला बजाऊं तो इतना अच्छा लगता था कि छंद स्वर राग इन तीनों का संगम हो रहा है, जैसे गंगा जमुना सरस्वती, इन तीनों का संगम होता था। और हम ये कहते हैं कि एक तो कलाकार शब्द है, बहुत छोटा सा कलाकार, आजकल दुनिया ही कलाकार है, पता नहीं जो 3 महीने भी सीखते हैं वो भी कलाकार ही है, जाने कौन कौन है। पर जो दीवाना हो जाए, जिसको हम दीवाना कहें, कलाकार से बड़ा है। और पंडित जी के अंदर वो दीवानापन है, अपने काम के लिए और अपने मन से, उनके दिमाग से एक ही चीज को सोचना है, छंद ताल राग। और वो एक बहुत बड़ी प्रेरणा है फॉर एवरीवन। उन्हें पूरी होल लाइफ उन्होंने अपने उस सितार के साथ, उंगलियों के साथ, और सितार में सुंदरता, मुख विलास, बैठने का ढंग, कैसे सितार हाथ में लेना चाहिए, तथा हर स्वर का द एक्सप्रेशन, एवरी नोट्स, उनके आंखों पे झलकता है कि राग यहाँ जा रहा है, ऐसे घूम रहा है। क्योंकि डांस भी सीखा उन्होंने, उदय शंकर जी के साथ ही थे। तो हर तरह की जो संगीत के अंदर दिशाएं हैं उनके हाथ में बैठी हुई थी। तो 90 साल तो क्या, 90 नहीं, मैं तो कह रहा हूँ ऐसे आदमी को, ऐसे व्यक्ति को, ऐसे कलाकार को तो सैकड़ों साल जिंदा रहना चाहिए। बिकॉज वन लाइफ इज नॉट इनफ फॉर आर्ट। फिर से पैदा हो, फिर से रविशंकर जी बने और फिर से बजाते जाए। ये मेरी बहुत गुड विशेष है उनके लिए। बाकी सब लोगों ने तो उनके हर चीज को सुना है, देखा है और आपके सामने कहा है। तो ये कहते हुए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
धन्यवाद महाराज जी। May I request our chief guest, Dr. Karan Singh ji, to kindly share his feelings.
The chairman of this evening's function, my good friend and colleague, Dr. Abid Hussain, who incidentally succeeded me as ambassador to the United States. Excellencies, Panditji, ladies and gentlemen, there is something magical about music. Music is a gift of the gods. Music is something that takes us to a transcendental level. And in India, we have this long tradition of music going back to the Vedas. In fact, the Sama Veda was sung, it wasn't recited, because music is in the blood of India. And all the great gharanas that we have seen have cut across all barriers of race and creed and religion and have created this marvelous civilizational music that we call Indian music. Whether it is the great Karnataka tradition or the Hindustani tradition, whether it is vocal or instrumental, we have an immense wealth of musical talent and musical tradition in this country. But in order to touch divine heights, as it were, you need a musician who has also got a transcendental quality. There are not very many musicians who can take you to that level, because music is always divine, but the expression of that music depends upon the individual musician or the ensemble. In the West, it is more an ensemble. They have these great philharmonic orchestras. They have 80, 100, 120 people playing at the same time. Whereas in India, it is an individual art. In India, it would be awkward to have everybody singing at the same time. A great musician has to go inwards, whether it is somebody singing a Sufi ghazal or whether it is somebody singing a classical piece. You go inwards. You don't sing for an audience, you sing for yourself. The greatest of artists never sing for an audience. They sing for the divine that is seated within our own heart. That is the key to Indian culture. When the Bharatanatyam dances, she does not dance for the audience, she dances to Shiva or Krishna or whoever she is dancing for. When Panditji dances, when he does his Brijabhumi, and so he's not dancing for the audience, he's dancing for Sri Krishna and for Radharani. So that is the difference, I think. The Western music plays for the audience, whereas the Indian musician plays for himself. I'm not making a value judgment here. I'm just trying to make a point which is not generally recognized. And as I was saying, you need a truly great artist to be able to touch those heights. And Pandit Ravi Shankar surely has been one of the greatest artists that we've produced in recent times. I have had the privilege of listening to him for over half a century when he was in All India Radio. And he used to have those marvelous concerts. And at that time, kya unka haath chalta tha. It was really magical to see how he played. Even today, you get snatches in All India Radio, that glorious Hamsadhwani, which comes in between two news items. I wish the news items would disappear and they'd only let us listen to that Hamsadhwani. They never let us listen to it for more than 1 minute. वो जब मजा आने लगता है वो बंद कर देते हैं ये अब खबरें पेश हो रही हैं अब खबरें जाए खड्डे में पहले हमें ये तो सुनने दीजिए हमसध्वनि लेकिन ये उनका क्या कहना है and then he's played at his हमारे घर भी he's played at my house. He was very kind and I've listened to him for half a century. It is such a joy, and he's not only a great musician, as has been said by previous speakers. He has that special quality. He transcended India and he really took Indian music to the world. In the same way Swami Vivekananda took Indian philosophy to the world, I think Pandit Ravi Shankar took Indian music to the world. And that is how, in fact, he's become an icon not only for Indians, but for people around the world. He's done all sorts of experiments, but I still think that basically his classical music, and that those 6.5 years that he did the sadhana and the tapasya with his guru, that was what really converted him from just an ordinary musician into a great musician. You need the touch of the master. Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi would have been a great intellectual. It was only when he met Shams-e Tabriz that he became the great Sufi. So you need that magical touch of the master to convert you, to convert the dross of your consciousness to the gold of the higher awareness. And so therefore, when we pay our tribute to Panditji today on his 90th birthday, we are paying tribute to the whole tradition of Indian music and to world music. And on behalf of all of us, I'm sure Abid Bhai, in his closing remarks, will send to Panditji our warm and affectionate greetings and wish him many, many more years of creativity. Thank you.
Excellency Karan Singh Ji, Excellencies and friends, I think we first of all owe a word of gratitude to Surinder for organizing this particular function. It is indeed remarkable the way in which he has been able to assemble some of the finest people in Delhi today to come and tell us as to how they have reacted to the great personality, the great magician, the perception of divinity which you can see in him today to all of us. I do not have to add more to what has already been said. But I would only say that India has given a gift to the world. Panditji is not confined to the dimension of the country called India, but he is much more than that. And that has been because he used a vehicle of transmitting the divine message through music. As has been very rightly said, and the German ambassador quoted him on that particular thing, that music is the one form in which what you feel and you can't describe, which is inexplainable, becomes explainable through it. And it is the touch of God, I would say, to the tips of his fingers, that whenever he touched a string, there came out the music which conquered the hearts, minds and soul of the people. And as Karan Singh ji has very rightly said, that when you listen to people to masters, to artists like Ravi Shankar ji, you really go into a different realm altogether. And that is the beauty of the music, that without words, without any crushing ideas to be presented to you, it lifts you above the material world into a world which becomes so sensitive that you again and again start feeling that the thoughts which were in us, embedded in us, which are not describable, indescribable, I would say, becomes describable through the tongue. We are grateful to all our colleagues here, and to you, sir, especially, for giving us the glimpses of the personality of a great master who, as I said, is given the magic, the divine magic of creating music out of the strings, which remains eternal. Panditji is immortal. Panditji's music will be eternal. And I am sure all of us who had a chance to listen to Panditji would only say that wish he was here with us today, when we could have greeted him with flowers, with our emotions, passions and others, and listened to him. But I am confident of it, that wherever Panditji would be, he would be very happy to know that his admirers here got collected over here to pay a tribute to him. In the end, I would only say that music is the soul of heart, mind, and the eternal thoughts which grip us. And it is through this particular music that we'll be able to advance further in the life and bring comfort to those who are today in a wretched condition. Because I still believe, and I agree with my colleagues over here, that it is music only which can lift you out of the poverty of thought and the poverty of mind. I would not like to say more, because what you have said, sir, has been really tremendous. I can only say कि बाहरी तकरीर की लज्जत कि जो तुमने कहा मैंने ये जाना कि गोया ये भी मेरे दिल में है. Well, with this, we thank you.